The Northeast Community College baseball team is well on their way to another successful season. And coach says that's largely due to this duo of a twin brother team on the field. That's right, Colin and Cade.
Pierce High School, home to the Class C1 reigning football state champions. But what will it take for the Blue Jays to get this opportunity this year?
Season like no other. With 16 girls on the team, everybody had to step up.
Although the women faced heartbreak on this field, the Wildcats still ended the day as winners.
With the pandemic taking away some of her 2020 races, Susan says she might need help in the future. Lucky for her, both of her kids are more than willing. A Southeast Nebraska high school volleyball player is fulfilling her dream of playing Division I sports.
Right now at halftime, it's 43-24, but we're going to switch gears a little bit. Earlier this week, I got to talk to the new varsity volleyball head coach at Stanton, who said this season's team is a family. Literally, you'll see what I mean. Welcome back to the 2021 Northeast Nebraska All-Star Football Classic. Earlier this season, the Wildcats started off with some good news, not just because they actually have a season this year as COVID-19 took away their last season, but from an announcement from Coach McMiniman that was caught on camera. Take a look. We're back at the Pinnacle Bank Arena where the game is tied against Humphrey, LHF, and the Irish. I was going to say that I have a closer look on the history of Elkhorn North, but it's just that they don't have it because they are a brand new program, like you guys said. But I do have a closer look on Coach Ann Prince. I'm in the student section for Scottsbluff, but there are no Scottsbluff students here. In fact, there's students from all over the Panhandle. Abby, tell me who's all with you. Last time you faced Minot, it was a shutout. This time you face them, it's a shutout. Last shutout for the Wildcats was in 2019. How was this possible tonight? Coach, you came over here, you said your heart's racing. Tell me what's going through your mind right now. Severe weather down south affecting Nebraskans right here. Some of them right on this field tonight. This week I talked to two Wildcats who told me how they coped while their hometowns were being rocked by severe weather.
Times of uncertainty.
Hearing about Ida kind of was just like, I hope we don't have to backtrack anymore.
Wildcat wide receiver Jaden Johnson is from Southwest Louisiana.
Backtrack to last year, Hurricane Laura and Delta hit.
Two storms taking away a piece of his childhood.
And my parents' house was actually, they had to gut out the whole house, and we're still in the rebuilding stage.
Johnson's family stayed in a hotel for a month, then moved in with his grandma while their home is rebuilt. All while he was in Wayne.
Just made me worry a little bit, but I know it's in God's hands, so it helped me get through it.
A feeling his fellow teammate is all too familiar with.
Yeah, I really wish I could have been home, just to know everybody's okay.
Kevin Ransom is from Port Allen, just 2 hours east of Johnson.
A lot of people evacuated. My family wasn't able to evacuate, but they were okay. Lights were off for a couple of days.
Athletes taking issues by the horns on the field found it hard to grasp the inevitable.
It sucks, because there's nothing you can do about it. It's a lot of wind and water coming through, and it's going to do damage regardless.
Being hundreds of miles away from their families during a time of devastation, how do these athletes not only cope with the trauma at home, but play a football game while it's happening?
Just got to keep praying.
My family reached out to me before the game. They said, I know you, they knew I was worried, but they told me to just focus on the game.
Long distance love.
Sometimes we as parents, fans, coaches make such a big deal about the game that you forget about the people that are in the game. And that's, to me, what you should focus on.
And I gave him a high five from the play before, and about the time I must have given him a high five, I just kind of dropped.
I could hear them say, "We don't have a pulse."
4 minutes without a pulse. 28-year-old Sean Korth is lucky to be talking about the incident after collapsing during a baseball game in Humphrey earlier this month.
I didn't think he was going to make it, so I wanted to be there to hold his hand for these last moments, and it was hard because I was getting pulled away. And
7 bystanders with medical backgrounds rushed over to help.
My friend and I just kind of threw our stuff and we ran to get onto the field.
And the next thing I remember after that, I was getting a breath of CPR. It more felt like you were getting a kiss, but instead of getting a kiss, just a whole bunch of air blowing in you at one time.
After just 5 rounds of CPR, the EMTs were on the scene.
If no one would have been there to initiate the CPR within a 6-minute frame, until we got there, it could have been a different ball game.
If it wouldn't have been for them, he wouldn't be here no more.
Sean made it to Columbus Community Hospital.
And I get a call and it says Sean, and I answered and Sean's like, "Hey Sugar, I'm alive."
Awake and responsive, he was ready to get home.
The doctor came in, looked at me, and told him thanks, and he said, I didn't really do anything. He said it was mostly everybody at the ball field, and he said, I just tied the bow on top.
Sean has had congenital heart disease since he was a baby.
I told my nurse what had happened, told her I went into VFib, and she looked at me, she was just confused. She said, why? That has nothing to do with what you've had since you were a baby.
Now he has an ICD pacemaker.
I didn't see a light, it was pretty black, so I think I better change my ways so I can, go towards the light next time.
This terrifying situation happening right here near second base is changing not only the way that Sean is thinking about things, but also other rural communities in Nebraska are starting to change the way they might do things in the future.
Albion knew about what happened, and so they got AEDs at their baseball fields now.
I would just encourage people to learn CPR.
Sean's family is already making strides in that direction.
Sounds to me like we're enrolled in CPR classes, so.
A valuable lesson and a powerful reminder.
I was on my knees in the middle of the field just praying to God, please don't take him from me, please.
Considering the time and the place, he's a miracle.